Hey y'all, welcome back. I am the Backwoods Modeler. This is my workshop. Today I've been working on trying to build this, trying to build that, trying to come up with something to build. And I came up with an idea of making a different type of a flatbed. So I have this stake bed that came off of one of my Ram 3500s, whatever. And I'm considering taking this rack off of it and just taking it down to a flatbed. I saw on the internet where they were trying to sell one and they showed it with this off of it, and it looked like a pretty nice bed. So we're going to remove this bed. That's the plan anyway. I'm going to use this cab. Don't mind the camper, but I'm going to use this cab. And yes, it's going to take me a minute to wipe all this stuff off of it, but we're going to use this cab because I'm going to use this bed and this slam chassis with this single cab right here. So that's going to be another build. But today we're going to work on trying to get this together. This pretty much just screws onto here, so we'll be able to pop that off pretty easily. But I will need to get the mud flaps off because I'd like to reuse those, and we need to get this back bumper with the tow hitch off because we're going to need that too. So it's going to take a little bit of figuring out how to do all of that and use it all. So let's get to it. I had a screwdriver laying here somewhere, honest. I've done this once or twice. Well, I bought this truck a while back, and I've had plans to put that single cab on this dually bed. Man, that sucker's together. Since I got it with this slam chassis, thinking that would look pretty slick. Maybe. It's not my style, but I know somebody will like it. Ooh, boy, that baby is on there. Some of these just do not want to come apart. Anybody else have that issue? Anybody else try to take theirs apart? We're going to have to cheat a little bit. Wow. Yeah. Holy cow. I never usually have this kind of problem. You got to watch where you pop these, because you don't want to mess up your axles. There we go. I heard a pop. There it went. She was just super tight on there. All right. So we don't need that. We're going to have to pop this bed real fast because we don't want the bed. Okay. Now we got the bed off. Set the bed back there. We don't need that. I'm going to take this out of here. We're also going to need to take the dash out of it because we're going to take the windshield out of it because we're going to strip everything, and we do not want to get acetone on our clear plastic because it ruins it immediately. Oh, good thing that broke in a good spot, y'all. I just snapped that sucker right in half, but luckily for me it'll glue right back in there because it broke in the middle. I don't like what that says on the back window, but maybe since that's broke, maybe I'll switch the back window out with this other one. I don't know. Idea for later down the road here. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and get the dash out. I'm also going to pop the bumper and the grill out of this truck because I'm thinking I might want to use this on that other black truck. So we're going to attempt to do that. See if we can't trim the plastic off the back here where they melted it on. Once you get that trimmed off, they usually pop off pretty easily. You just take a poker and just poke right through the back of it. Man, that one is really on there. I changed my blade this time, if y'all remember that from the last time. Alright, so we'll pop that bumper off of there. Attempt to pop that bumper off of there. Usually all you have to do is just give them a little push in the back and they come off, but this one, they obviously glued it on top of that. So you just take your knife, wiggle it down through there till you get to where it's stuck and give it a little twist, pops right off. Now for the grill, it's usually just pop your knife in there and pops right off. Make sure we didn't lose our headlights. Nope, both our headlights are in there. We're good. All right, so there we go. Now I'm not going to sit here and bore you and make you sit here and watch me wipe all of this stuff off of here, so I'll cut back in a minute and we'll go from there. I guess before that, we go ahead and take this bed off of here. Yeah. So this is why people speed through videos, because I haven't even hardly done anything and we're already 6 minutes into this sucker. So popped off. All right, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Alrighty, here we go. So I've got this all cleaned off. I got the interior back in. I didn't put the grill and stuff back in because I'm still gonna have to take another truck apart. I went ahead and used this same window that was in it, thinking one, you may not see much of it, and two, if you do, I'll just paint the inside of it black and we'll just call it a day. So I have a donor chassis here to start with. Problem with that is, as you can see, once I put this on, the wheels are still going to be way too short. We need to move the wheels back, you know, a whole nother set, because this is where they would be, and obviously that would look stupid, so we're going to move them back here somewhere to make it look a little better. In order to do that, we're going to have to stretch this chassis. So what we are going to do is, I have this one, like I said, I've had a few of these trucks, so I've got an extra chassis laying around. And then I have this one, which we are also going to tear apart and use the chassis off the bottom of this truck also. And I think, if I remember right, this one is stripped, because I've tried to pull these apart a couple of times and this one messes with me all the time. So figured it's time for you to go. So there we go. Now we just got to get this screw off of here, and she seems to be stripped pretty good, so it's going to be tricky getting that out of there without messing this up. Spinning is not helping. I need to get something. There, we got her. Just had to spin it enough and pull it enough and I got her off. All right, so now we got us another donor chassis. And I'm probably going to use this one mostly because of the ride height on this one. We don't want a slammed chassis on this truck now, since we're going to raise it up. So that already, just doing that and taking all that crap off of there makes it look like a better truck, even though I don't like red. So now what we're going to do is, my favorite is cut it. And as usual, I'm going to cut it between the two doors, because that'll leave us plenty of room to move this back another notch. See how we're going to do that? We're just going to cut this one right across where the oil pan, or the tranny pan, or whatever you want to call it, right in there. We're going to cut it across there and then marry it up to where it attaches right here between the cab, or between the doors. And then once we get that on there, we'll have our bed set where we want it to be. So that's going to take me a minute to cut. I'm not going to do that on camera, so hold tight. Alrighty, so we're back, and I've got the front cut where it's supposed to be, and then I cut the back part, got it on there where it's supposed to be, and then I went to put the bed on, and as you can see, it's still a little bit too high. So what I'm going to do to fix that is, where the cutout is for the rear back wheels, where it comes up into this bed, I'm going to cut into the bed a little bit to drop it down onto here. Some may think that's a little easier to do than trying to grind down the entire top of this, which is, I think, a lot more work. I think I can cut this down, but it's only going to come down about 1/4 of an inch. So let me see. That may not be a good idea. That's not even going to be 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch at that. That's still not going to be enough. So I guess we are going to have to do some hacking on this, as much as I didn't want to. So all right, I guess that's what the next plan is, to start cutting on that, and that's going to take a little bit. So again, I'll be back. All right, y'all, so this has turned out to be a way bigger project than expected. So I've got the back cut where we want her. Got the back wheel in. I ended up having to change this plastic piece. Let me show you a little closer. There's a little plastic piece that they put on here. They use the same chassis for the regular ride height, and they use the same chassis for the slam chassis. And what I realized is I used the wrong one for the back. So what I had to do is cut it off the other one. This little piece here that I cut off. That's the one for the slam chassis, and this one here is for the regular ride height chassis. So I had to glue that on there. Then I ended up cutting almost this whole top off of here. Where's the other one right here? You can see from this one, I cut almost this entire top off of it. And I put that on there, and I put the bed on. I didn't like the way the bed looked, so I still ended up coming in here and notching out of the frame for it to fit on this truck better. Now I've got it where I want it. I still got to put a little shim in the back because I got to raise it up just a smidgen. So I just about got it where I want it. Now all we have to do is start gluing things together. I am going to go ahead and glue this together and let this dry, and then we'll put this on here and we'll make everything level and fit from that way. So that is about where we're at now, is to let this thing set, glue, and dry, and then we'll cut back in and I'll show you the end of it. So sit tight. All right, y'all, I let this thing set overnight and dry just to make sure that everything was good to go with it. And see, pretty good looking truck. I think it turned out pretty sweet. Got the chrome front end. You know, the hood on these things, that's as high as these things go. That's it, but that's all we got. Other than that, front end turned out good. Everything wiped off there nicely. Nice red paint job. It's a good looking truck. I really like this one. Got the regular street ride height on the tires. I come up with an idea to block this area off. Let me find one here that's already trimmed. I was thinking of possibly putting this set of toolboxes in there. Still, tires will still roll. And then thought possibly putting one of these black ones in the back, but I don't know, that might be too much. Both of them might be too much because that's going to really hang down on that truck. But I'm not sure. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with this big old bed, because I think this turned out pretty sweet. I mean, that sucker's huge. You compare it to the regular flatbeds that I build. Look at the difference on that sucker. That thing is huge. I wanted to use the mud flaps off of that truck, and then I realized last minute that you're not gonna, you see it says Ram on there. I didn't realize that when I took them off, and I was lining them up on this truck to see how they were going to work, and I saw the Ram emblem on there. I was like, okay, well, we're not using those anymore. So that's what we did that. I am still considering using this headache rack here because it still fits in there. So I may put that back on there and run that, I don't know yet. 1 minute I look at it, I like it, the next minute I don't. Then I was considering, I cut this down because I didn't like it 4 high. So I cut this down, thought about putting that back on there, kind of like so. I left the back high. I know it looks funny in the back, but I left the back high because of the way the gates are. You know, it has the double hinges there, so if I cut that off, it's not going to look right. So I got that option, and then another option which I like even better is take this off, pop this off, turn this around and put it on like this. Now see, I kind of like that. I like the way that looks. You know, it's got the gate to the wrong side, but with it like this, you can't tell that's supposed to be a gate. So the whole problem with this is the holes for the posts don't line up. So if I put that on there, I'd have to glue it on there, and then I'd have to cut those tabs off. I don't know if I want to go through all that, so might just stay a flatbed, y'all. I don't know. I got endless possibilities. You know, I got a welder we can throw on there. I actually got a couple little different welder setups I can throw on here. Got my auxiliary fuel tank. We can figure out a way to put that on there somehow. Oh, by the way, I did leave that writing, the window with the writing on it, and I forgot to paint the back window out, but luckily for me, there's no back windows in the back door, so if I decide to, I can still get a paintbrush in there and black out the back window from the inside, but we'll probably just leave it like it is. So anyway, what do y'all think of my Crewcab extended flatbed build? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I was able to use the rear bumper with the tow hitch. So all we have to do now is just paint the taillights on there, and that thing is good to go. It's got a huge license plate. But other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. What do y'all think? Comment down below if y'all want to see me build a particular truck or something. I'm running out of ideas here. And then other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram. Check out my eBay store. And most important, y'all come back now. Have a good day. Bye.